it's really just about risk acceptance. And so working with a partner to help inform that process is really important. We could say to you, hey, you're leaving quite a bit on the table that you're not bringing into Sentinel, and I think that's going to put the organization at risk in the following places. And so we're going to enumerate that for you and show you that. So this is essentially just based off the historical data that we have, and we're going to put you at that average. But we also want to factor in your Mac discount. We want to factor in your license credits. Those Defender VMs are going to give you a really good chunk of credit at 500 megabytes of ingestion, which is awesome. I'm going to double check this. This seems a little bit high. The math is right, but I need to double check the credit. I'm pretty sure it's 500 megabytes per day because you typically ingest a lot of data off of servers versus an E5 user. And you factor all of this in, and I'm getting a cost optimization insight here that tells me, A, you should stick with the pay-as-you-go model. With Sentinel, you can opt in at a commitment tier. You can set a capacity reservation at 200 gigabytes and say, no matter what, I'm going to pay for 200 gigabytes a day and lock in at a lower rate. But because we're at 169 gigabytes with the Mac and license credits, it's actually financially more responsible to stick at the pay-as-you-go model. Because if we look at our graph here, it tells us that the pay-as-you-go for 200 gigabytes is 21,000. The commitment tier, if you lock in at 200 gigabytes, is about 14,000. Sizable savings, but between the Mac discount as well as the licensing credits between E5 and Defender for Servers P2, the current spend for 169 gigabytes is lower than a 200 gigabyte commitment tier. So if we don't expect to inch anywhere above 169, then we're going to stay right where we are, and we shouldn't lock in at 200 gigabyte. But if we were to change any of those values, lower the Mac, lower the license credit, increase the user estate, then that number is going to go up and this optimization insight is going to switch. It's going to say, hey, you should really use a capacity reservation and just lock in at that. And so like the 200 gigabyte per day cost is like 3.4 gigabytes, $3.4 per gigabyte per day in US East. And so this is a really good example of like the kind of thing that BlueVoyant is willing to do for you at no cost to help you build into a plan to leverage Sentinel.